signed the pledge. One of the reasons, and nobody would probably know it, but I'll tell them now, one of the reasons that we're just defending ourselves from all of these accusations, all these charges, we didn't have to write way back. We could have jumped on this right away. But here's what we signed. Oh, you believe. Atiullah, Atiyah Rasul, wa ulil amr minkum. That's a long statement there, because you can ask, who's ulil amr minkum? Those charged with authority from among you, those that you have selected as leadership. Those that haven't broken any promises, and they have to be able to come. If something's wrong, you got to come and show people, this is what they did right here, this is what they did. So we don't have to follow this pledge no more. You have to come, oh, they took our money. You have to show that. Oh, it was messing with women. You have to show that. Oh, the man is a liar. You got tons of stuff right there. All they got to do is come and show one incident, right, where any of that is true. So this says, obey Allah and obey the messenger and those charged with authority among you. That means they have bay'ah. They have allegiance. And they signed it. And everybody else that came after that was aware of this. And we have these As-Sabiqun's on allegiance. So nobody's what it means, right? They can read it over and over again, and if they don't like it, okay, why, when all of this stuff happened, why everybody pick up and leave? Why nobody asked me anything? Why Ahmed Shama come here 12 years later asking me what to do with the bay'ah? I said, the bay'ah. 12 years later, last year he was here. One of the Arab brothers, the Egyptian brothers, where, of course I didn't ask him, well, where y'all been all this time? Did you give bay'ah to Abdul Malik or you gave bay'ah to me? Then if that's true, why did everybody leave with Abdul Malik? They all packed up and left. And the people here waited a few months and then they left too. They're from right here. They just deserted the school down there, they deserted everything, just walked away. Why? You know what? I mean, it's fine, I know why, because we wrote about it years before. We understood that was a tactic and that was going to happen. We almost encouraged it to happen. That's why we gave a talk years before, not years before this, but in the interim period here, we gave talks on that. Design fitna. That we're going to have programs that relates to encouraging fitna. Right? That's what we did. Yeah. Okay. But here's the real reason. We placed this as number one so everybody would know, do not go to the white man or the system about any of our business. If you do, you're going out of what we're talking about, because the white man is always going to misuse whatever is, and if you do it, you with him. Well, I don't have to say if you do it. They are with boss man. Everybody knows it. They don't have no backup, no, why is all of this? Why, where do you have a paper? Can you imagine? They don't have one piece of paper that allow them to do nothing. When you see me being handcuffed, taken out of the masjid with no shirt on and everything, I was in there taking an enema, and the police beating on the door. I said, I'm not going to come in with water in the middle of me, you know, coffee enema. So I went in and sat on the toilet. I said, I'm not going to come to you and do all over the masjid. Who would do that? Somebody That's why they watching and they know where you are, what you're doing. Then here come the police beating on the door. What kind of people would do that? What kind of people would do any of the things that was done and never mention nothing? Never, we think this happened, we think that happened. What about this? Well, what about it? Everybody else, people here in D.C., don't get no salaries or nothing. I put 35,000, 45,000 to add up 777. It comes out to over $50,000 I put in the account for Oakland. Mukhtar never went and raised any money. Every dime he got, because the car ain't running right. Car looks like it's running fine to me. Hey, why don't you go, do a little fundraising. They used that looks like a trash heap out there. Oakland was worse. Our main property had old cabs and everything all over it. And people would write tickets on it. Like they write them, they write tickets on it. The last one was $22,000. $22,900. 22,000, yeah.
What is it?
Well, they said we're going to take the property or you can pay it. So I just take it. Yeah, that's what they did. They never said nothing to Abdul Malik and them about anything. There was a car ran into the Masjid, and the car ran technically into the Masjid and knocked down part of it. Abdul Malik raised, the Arab brother Imam told me he gave him several $1,000s to fix it. Other people gave him several $1,000s. Mukhtar, he never asked Abdul Malik why he never fixed the front of the Masjid. We fixed the front of that Masjid. Yeah, when I went out there, we fixed that. The property, that big piece of property that we have out there that Mukhtar sold, of course we'll get it back. We bought that, must have been in '97. They let it sit there till 2007. What happened to property if you just let it sit? The roof was leaking, the place was a mess. We fixed it up, or part of it. And Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. That's what the sign said. I don't have it here, but it was out there. As soon as this stuff started happening, Mukhtar went and tore the sign down. The sign was an advertisement, because people would drive by and stop. There's a lot of Arabs out there too. So they'd pull over and park, and they would be trying to figure, what the heck does that mean? Right? Mukhtar tore it down. Never put it up again, he just tore it down. Okay. Atiullah atiya rasul wa ulul amr minkum. Obey Allah, obey the messenger, and those charged with authority amongst you. If you have any doubt or discussion, if you differ in anything amongst yourselves, refer it to Allah, the Quran. Refer it to the messenger, the Sunnah, right? If you believe in Allah in the last day. They all signed this. And all this stuff, we resolved to work with each other, to guard and support each other. We resolved to establish Islamic homes wherein, what did you think? Out here, we did all the stuff we did. That's how everybody. What do they have out there? Nothing. And anything they had, we had to go and buy half of it for them. And Mukhtar has the nerve to say, you stole money from us. Forget about that. My house was on Section 8 at that time. I didn't have and I never until recently had an account in my name. All the money I raised all of these years, I don't care if I gave a speech, I don't care if somebody gave me a basket full of money, I put it in my Islam account. What do they think the $500,000 for the school? Can you imagine 10 years? You remember the school here, right?
Yeah.
That was no kid, nobody ever heard about any kid not being able to go for a school or anything like that. Nor did anybody ever get kicked out of the school. No matter, do you think all the Negroes that was coming here with their kids was paying on time? No. Some of them several $1,000s. Down at my house, they said, we got to get rid of them. I said, no, I'll take care of it, don't worry. I said, I can't kick no kid out for money. So imagine, 10 years. I'm just assuming between 400 and 500,000. But that's all money from selling books, from doing this. You know what I mean? I know myself that probably 80% of the money that came here, I brought it here. I just know that. And the same out there. I mean, it ain't like, so how can he blame, that's misusing this ayat right here? That's saying the white folks, you stole some money. He ain't got no paper, he ain't got no nothing. And went to the bank, and the bank gave, they don't have a right, but they gave him the money. They gave him money. When we was talking about 10% rule, that once we get, we got trying to get $1 million, once we get 10%, and I gave a lecture on it here. That means we just got $100,000, now we're on a roll. And my belief then, and it's my belief now, that if you talking about we're going to get some money, we're going to do this, and you don't have nothing in your hand, right? It's a vision, it's a dream. But if you get 10% of that, you're on a roll. So $1 million to help Imam Jamil, and remember, what the hell are you, if you got the money, what about Imam Jamil and the people? Where did the money go? Where did the money, the property that they sold? The property, they sold the property. Where's the money? Now, I'm just asking this now, but where is the money? I know people have sent stuff from the internet saying that they got a drug problem and they did this, that, and another. Forget all of that. You don't have no right Islamically to do that. Of course, we'll take it to court soon, but we're taking it to court now when we have to. We never took none of this stuff to court or went and got the white man. And they've been doing this stuff for over a decade now. And finally, because we signed this, if you have any problem, take it to Allah, take it to the messenger, and those charged with authority among you. Nobody ever mentioned the Quran to us, nor hadith. We got phone calls here. People who are crackpots, they could call out, we're coming over there and take over. You remember that?
I don't remember that, but I remember you talking about it.
Right. The brothers, they was, we're going to come put y'all out of here. What we say is this. The mean old system tries to find any way that it can. And all of this, over all of these years, it slipped up on them. They didn't think nobody was going to survive all of this. That's why they did one thing, then they did another, then they got bigger. And all of a sudden, hey man, we look like we're stupid. What we done, we don't have no paperwork for it, nothing. And they done survived all that. Now they're teaching everybody and talking every week, 2-3 times a week, saying, boss man bites the dust. He ain't got no nothing. Right? Now imagine his authority over people is broken. And for us, hey, I'm sorry. All of this stuff was a blessing to live through it. To live through it. And every bit of this was a staged event so that we would get to where we are now. That's been the mission all the time. We've been talking about it all the time, but it's clear now what the mission has always been. That's what it was for. Nobody else had a chance to go through it. Nobody else had a chance to even practice zuhud. Nobody even got to zuhud. You know, zuhud is detachment. When you're detached from stuff, when you detach from it, you can manage it. If you attach to things, you can't manage it properly because you want it all for yourself. This is all, if you want to see a grateful Negro, you're looking at one right this minute. A grateful, happy Negro, amen. I hope everybody get a shot at what we're dealing with and get the same feeling. It's different, that's all I can say. All this other stuff was, for its period and for its time, it was something. But it ain't nothing compared to this. It don't even, it ain't nothing compared to this. Are there any questions or any comments? Didn't mean to talk so long. Any questions or any comments?
Now, there weren't any questions or comments here, but I guess I had a question, I guess it was the long-term range where, you know people are taking money, they ain't doing nothing about this, it's and sometimes you bring it up and it kind of hits you like, man, you were dealing with this for decades, maybe you could just speak to the, your experience dealing with it and, because it doesn't sound like, a human could do it, maybe you could just speak to, the human terms of it,
Right.
Because it sounds like, super Negro type stuff.
Well, no, the revolution fought on the terms that we're in America.
Right.
When we come across this, it was really a long time ago. It was studying guerrilla warfare and all of that. And Chairman Mao always used the term protracted struggle. So for China, I think our struggle was more protracted than the Chinese. No, that it's stretched out over a long period of time. Okay, when it's stretched out over a long period of time, you're going to have a lot of sabr. A sabru jamil, and a beautiful patience. It's a wonderful patience. There's many things that you need to do this. In physical revolution, it was said that if you lose 90% of your people and base areas, you're still in the game. We boosted up to 98%. It don't, So what we did was coming out of the 60s, wandering in the wilderness, to get to this, what are we gonna do about the black movement? Where are we going? So you're looking around, and then we arrive at the Sunnah. And so by the time we got here, we had already learned what we're up against. We knew when we opened our Masjid in 1980 in Oakland, we had an idea of what they, soon as I got out of jail, I went back for a few months. And I came home and some brother came from up in Oregon. He had a white wife. She was a healthy white girl too, you know. And we want to stay in the masjid. I said, no, y'all can't stay here. Because I'm just out of the pen. And I told one of the brothers that was saying, maybe you should let them stay there. I said, I just got out of the penitentiary. I said, suppose that white girl say, you know what I mean, or approach me. And I said, well, I ain't did nothing. Who you think's gonna believe it? Healthy she is, right? And you know, nowadays there's a lot of healthy white girls, nice, shapely. In those days they would stick straight up and down. Not all of them, but some were. And here was one built like a Negro, you know, kind of, you know. And so I said, no, they can't do it. It wasn't long after that. I got a phone call in the middle of the night, about 12 o'clock at night, and it's pouring down rain. Hello, this is so-and-so. Would you come pick me up and take me? I said, I'll call you a cab. I said, what you think? Imagine you see me in the middle of the night. Now, by that time, I hadn't been married in years, right? Like I was celibate out there for at least 14 to 15 years, which is unheard of for Negroes. They don't do that. Negroes don't do that. You can call that a date, you know. And I mean, at juice time, when I'm running the hills and lifting iron, and you know what I mean, I'm charged up. It's just that being married would have thrown off what I was doing. I didn't want to. Okay, would you come by and get me and take me to the... I said, I'll call you a cab. I said, what would it look like a nigga riding around with a white woman and it's pouring down rain at midnight? So what do you think it would look like? And what do you think everybody else would think and everything else? Hey man, my son and I, we was sleep right by the phone. And I'm telling you, one of the call there. I remember one time, yes, Imam, You know, I look like Imam. I'm from such and such a place, and that was a model named Imam. Either Somalia or Kenya, one of them. Yeah. She was not, that's who I look like. And I would like to tell you about my vagina. I said, lady, I can't be sitting here listening about your vagina. And my son said, give me the fetal 16. You can give me the phone, Dad. I'll